Welcome to the Christmas Eve Candlelight service of the First Church in Boston. The minister at First Church is the Reverend Dr. Stephanie May. The music director at First Church is Gigi Mitchell-Velasco, alongside the First Church Choir, performing a selection of carols today.
It's on. Okay. Sorry, I've been tapping. Welcome. I am Barbara Martin, chair of the Standing Committee here at First Church Boston, and I am delighted to welcome all of you tonight for this very special service. Christmas Eve at First Church is a beloved tradition, and it is wonderful to be here with all of you, both those listening and watching online and those of us here in this candlelit sanctuary. This takes me back to the candlelight services of my childhood in a Unitarian church in Tennessee. I remember being very pleased to be chosen as a sixth grader to be one of those to light special candles at a special moment. And I am equally pleased to be here all these decades later to welcome all of you. I want to extend a special welcome to any visitors who are here with us tonight, perhaps for the first time. We invite you to return on any Sunday at 11 a.m. for our service when we will have more of a chance to welcome you and chat with you. Tonight, our new minister, Reverend Dr. Stephanie May, who we are delighted to celebrate this first Christmas Eve with. Stephanie will be greeting you on the porch outside the entrance, both in the interests of COVID safety and to speed us all onward to celebrate the holiday. So we won't be lingering this evening, but we invite you to return and get to know us better. Thank you all for being here on this Christmas Eve, and now our service will begin.
Welcome, indeed. Welcome to this service. It is truly a gift to be with you here tonight. As many of you know, I'm recovering from a bout of COVID. Wasn't sure I'd be here tonight, so enough days have passed for me to be with you, but I'm going to be staying masked. I am so grateful to be here when we will revel in music and carols, hear the familiar Christmas story, and rest for a time in candlelight stillness. And telling this ancient story again and again, we are reminded that hope must be born again and again. We remember that uncertain journeys, as well as hope for new beginnings, have long been part of living. May this gathering be a gift to you, a time to remember the love and joy that still remains amidst the moments of sadness and struggle. A time to be still, to rest, and to remember again the gifts of life and love that sustain us all. As we begin, I will light the 4 candles of our Advent wreath, symbols of peace, hope, joy, and love. And I'll also light our chalice, symbol of Unitarian Universalism. And if you're not familiar with this symbol, it was created, the flaming chalice was created by an artist during World War II named Hans Duscht as an official logo for the Unitarian Service Committee, a group working to get dissidents out of Europe, 90% of whom were Jewish. And so tonight I light this chalice in honor of the birth of hope found in the Christmas story, but also to remember all those who have struggled to preserve the possibility of a new life for others, a life free from war, from bigotry, from fear. So may this light call us to hope for peace, for love, for joy. And now I invite you, I think we are going to stand when we sing carols. How's that sound? We're not just sitting. Please rise in body or in spirit to sing "O Come All Ye Faithful." And I don't know if we managed to get bells out to folks, but if you brought your own, please join in where it indicates. Thanks. Please be seated.
Lesson 1. The story begins. Luke 2:25. In those days, a decree went out to the Emperor Augustus, and that all the world should be registered. This was the first registration and was taken we don't know. This wonderful person was governor of Syria. All went to their own towns to be registered. Joseph also went from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Judah, to the city of David called Bethlehem, because he was descendant from the house and family of David. He went to be registered with Mary, to whom he was engaged, and who was expecting a child.
Thank you, Fern. Please rise now for our next carol, O Little Town of Bethlehem. Please be seated.
Lesson 2, the birth. While Mary and Joseph were in Bethlehem, the time came for her to deliver her child, and she gave birth to her firstborn son, and wrapped him in bands of cloth, and laid him in a manger, because there was no place for them in the inn.
Lesson number 3, the shepherds heard the angel. In that region, there were shepherds living in the fields, keeping watch over their flock by night. Then an angel of the Lord stood before them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terrified. But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid, for see, I am bringing you good news of great joy for all the people. To you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, who is the Messiah, the Lord. This will be a sign for you. You will find a child wrapped in bands of cloth and lying in a manger." And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host, praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest heaven, and on earth peace among those whom he favors."
Please rise to sing Angels We Have Heard on High. Please be seated.
Lesson 4, Luke 2:15 to 19. When the angels had left them and gone into heaven, the shepherds said to one another, "Let us go now to Bethlehem and see this thing that has taken place, which the Lord has made known to us." So they went with haste and found Mary and Joseph and the child lying in the manger. When they saw this, they made known what had been told them about this child, and all who heard it were amazed at what the shepherds told them. Mary treasured all these words and pondered them in her heart.
Christmas is Subversive by Kendall Givens. One of the great things about Christmas is that it's a sturdy holiday. Christmas doesn't wimp out when times are hard. It comes anyway, even if there are hardly any presents, even when there isn't much food to make a feast with. Even if you're sad, even if the world around you is at war, even if you're living in fear and danger and oppression, Christmas still comes. And when it comes, Christmas is subversive. Christmas, with its story of an unwed mother and a doubtful father, with its legend of a helpless baby born in a stable who is worshipped by some of the wisest, richest men in the world, with its tale of the child pursued by the deadly wrath of kings, who escaped as a refugee to a foreign land far from home. Christmas, with its ancient, enduring summons of peace on earth, goodwill to all people everywhere. You can't stop a day like that with a little hardship, or greed, or injustice. It will show up anyway, shining the light of a midnight star into the darkest places of our collective lives. Do not underestimate the power of the manger and the hope it holds. The Christmas song of the angels is not as innocent as it sounds. It has turned the world upside down before now. It still can.
This is a troubled earth of war and refugees, of climate crisis and anti-Semitism. The ancient city of Bethlehem has itself called for a sober celebration of Christmas this year. No, Christmas is not canceled, but religious services will be held to mark Jesus' birth. Gone are the decorations, the holiday markets, and other joyous extravagances. In a season of war and mourning, how could this Palestinian city celebrate? I visited Bethlehem in the summer of 2008. While I took photos of the famous church, you have to duck down to go inside. It's an adventure. I took just as many pictures of the graffiti on the massive wall encircling the city. For example, there is was an enormous gray dove with an olive branch in its beak and a bulletproof vest over its chest with a gun scope over its heart. Hope for peace and fears of violence are not a new story for Bethlehem. The reality is that war and violence between nations, religions, families, and individuals permeates history like a hellish system of twining roots competing with the growth of justice, love, and peace. We can feel the tendrils of destructive forces and seek a response, a defense against the eclipsing despair. One response is the Christmas story, with its reverent attention to the power of hope embodied in a baby. As Unitarian Universalists, we do not celebrate Jesus as an exceptional child of God, as exceptional, though not a singular child of God. We do not place our hope in one life. Rather, we celebrate the holy gift of life born in each child, each of us bearing the divine spark of possibility to enliven the world with love. Clearly, masks and microphones are not cooperating very well. Hang on one second. Okay. We each face the entwined realities of love and violence, joys and heartbreak, in small and large ways. Even the enormous problems of a faraway war that break our heart often do so because of the individual particular stories. A teenage girl who might be freed as a hostage but feels she's not truly free until her father is also free. The story of a Palestinian girl in a hospital who's injured but is separate from her family. We connect to the story of a single life because we too know love and loss. The particular embodies the universal. And so I wonder, why couldn't the response to the world's biggest problems also begin in a single life? Why couldn't the story of a baby born to an unwed mother and a doubtful father turn the world upside down, as Kendall Gibbons suggests? Christmas is subversive, insists Gibbons. It is a sturdy holiday with an ancient, enduring summons of peace on earth, goodwill to all people everywhere. This subversive summons to peace and goodness is a tool of defense against despair. The hope found in the Christmas story is that the destructive forces of bigotry, oppression, violence, and war do not have to win. The world can be turned upside down. We can also choose to love abundantly and inclusively. We can work for peace and for justice. We can claim joy and gratitude. We can actively hope, living towards the future we desire for the people and the planet we love. These are big ideas, and these are but a few moments on a special night to share a few words. But perhaps sometimes the very message we need in a world full of noise is a simple reminder of what really matters. Sometimes we may need the sober truth of hope, shorn of the festive trappings. Christmas is about more than the pageantry and the presents. Christmas is a subversive story that does not let us forget the power of one life to turn the world upside down, a holy power to which we are all born. In a world threaded with ugliness and sorrow, may we choose to nurture peace and goodwill to all people everywhere. So may it be. Amen. Our offering today is the custom to give away the offering. It is the Christmas season, and so it will be given away in full. One of the most famous lines from the Christmas story is, "There is no place for them in the inn." And right now, Massachusetts is facing a housing crisis, and all the new immigrants that are coming are particularly facing a situation of not having even emergency housing available to them. And so tonight, our offering will be given to the Immigrant Family Services Institute, IFSFI, based in Mattapan. This is a one-stop center. They have one-stop centers to assist immigrants with housing, language lessons, legal services, and more. They are a leader in responding to the current crisis of immigrant families arriving in Massachusetts. In a moment, the ushers will come forward. For those of you here in person, you can pay with cash or a check to First Church Boston. Just put Christmas Eve in the memo. We'll take care of it. You can also text your donation to 855-537-2170. And if you're online, there'll be a slide with all the information you need on how to do that. Again, the text number is 855-537-2170. Thank you for giving generously as you are able.
I'm
Almost every congregation I've served always gets a little nervous at this point when we invite everybody to get lit flames. And this congregation, as you may know, had an experience of flame when the building burned down in 1968. And yet, flame is such a powerful symbol of piercing darkness and creating a sense of hope. And so this ritual is something that I think many of us come to the service just for this moment. So I invite the ushers. Apparently we have two very capable ushers to come forward and light their candles from the Advent wreath here. And then they'll walk down the center aisle and light the person on the end. And then we will just pass the light. The pro tip to always remember is if yours is lit, keep it upright, and if you're lighting, you can tip. So upright if it's lit. And then I invite you, as our guitar trio begins, to join in singing Silent Night. As you hold your candle low in your lap, let its flame stand for all that you care most about in life. The people you love, the landscapes and seascapes that make you feel whole, the work you do, the ideas and causes you have made your own, your deepest dreams, and the gift of life itself. Let the flame of your candle hold all of this, who you are and who you want to be in a world that is desperate for your gifts of love and peace. And then give yourself a moment to reflect on who you are becoming. Now, in this season when the darkness may be even more dark, when the empty place at the table seems even more empty, when conflict and struggle is touching many places on earth this night, including the people of Ukraine, Gaza, Israel, Africa, and more. When there are those in our towns and across our country, in our city, who this night are without a shelter, who this night know what it means to have no room at the inn. Allow yourself some time to hold in your heart all those who are hurting or whom we have lost. Let them come into your mind's eye and be here with us in spirit, so that they may know they are not alone. And now, looking ahead to the new year waiting to be born, let the flame of your candle stand for what you and only you have to give to the world. Your presence, your talents, your friendship, your know-how, your love, your peace, your goodwill. And then ask yourself, is there something in particular you know you can do to bring the gift of goodwill and steadfast love into the hearts of even one person this year, even if this one person is yourself? And together, let's raise our candles high and look around at the beauty of our togetherness. Here, too, is a glimpse of the light and peace and hope that Christmas promises. And after you've taken a glimpse of that potential, the very next step is to let go of it, so that we may send it out into the world. So when you are ready, blow your candle out. May the light pour into the coming year. And then rise with me in body or in spirit for our closing hymn, Joy to the World. Our benediction comes from the Reverend Howard Thurman. When the song of the angels is stilled, when the star in the sky is gone, when the kings and princes are home, when the shepherds are back with their flocks, the work of Christmas begins. To find the lost, to heal the broken, to feed the hungry, to release the prisoner, to rebuild the nations, to bring peace among the people, to make music in the heart. Let us go now into this night to do the work of Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Please feel free to join us live each Sunday at 66 Marlborough Street at the corner of Berkeley Street in Back Bay. If you would like more information about programs, services, or membership at First Church, please visit the website www.firstchurchboston.org or send an email to office@firstchurchboston.org. Thank you and Merry Christmas.